I know you just put up to the bar, but we close.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We're about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man. I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to it. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it.
All right. Tell you what. I'm gonna get you one drink. Does it look like you need
one drink? I can do one drink. I can do one drink because I really yeah.
Hey man, anything man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right, welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. As y'all will know, we are sponsored tonight by Activate Your Mind. Ask us who made this book. That's right,
Craftmatic.
Yay.
Please let everybody know some of the great work you've been doing, been constantly doing, and definitely we support it.
Okay.
Tell us more about it.
Thank you so much, Jay.
Oh.
And by the way, we have a guest on tonight. This is Ursula.
Tell us about
And,
who is she?
Someone. Yeah. Let me go ahead and put that out there.
Right.
Yeah, that's my lady. Right. So thank you for being here with us.
Yes.
You're welcome.
And of course, thank you, Jay, for having the opportunity to introduce my new book.
Yes.
It's called Activate Your Mind. And this is a lifetime of work that has come together in about a year that helps people think more effectively.
Yes.
Now, let's all consider that.
Okay.
Effective thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, many of us, part of our problem is that our minds are just all over the place.
True.
Don't we need to be in a mindset where our thinking is productive and our thinking is effective?
Yes.
If you are thinking about nonsense or worst case scenarios or negative, or you're thinking your thinking is promoting stress, you are off the mark. And you're taking your entire life off the mark, because whatever you see in your mind's eye will appear. That's a system that God put into place, and we really haven't begun to understand it. But if you are always thinking negative, you are taking your life off the path. This book is designed to help you think on the path. Yes. No matter what reality looks like, there's a certain way that you need to be thinking. You need to be thinking that everything's going to be okay. You need to be thinking we're going to get this done. You need to be thinking nothing's going to hold me back. You need to be thinking I'm victorious. You need to be thinking I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I'm filled with love. I'm filled with truth. That I'm going in the right direction. No matter what reality is, you have to have your mind in alignment with your truth. But if you're thinking less than your truth, meaning you're always thinking from a worry mindset, you're always thinking from a stressful mindset, you're always thinking about worst case scenarios and what's not possible, you are really not practicing effective thinking. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that that is one of humanity's greatest issues. If we can get people to think effectively, then their life would operate in an effective manner. But what happens is their mind is bouncing off the walls, right? Here's one of the things that we've never been taught about thinking, that you cannot think anything you want to think in this life. You have to be held accountable to your thoughts. If you start thinking everything is horrible and everything is wrong and nothing is working out for me, guess what begins to happen to your reality? Dark. You're manifesting your own darkness. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? And so you have to learn to think kind of on the narrow path of life, not on the downside and not on the shallow side, not on the what if side, but think clearly and powerfully and effectively. Now, let me give you a couple of topics here before we move on that we focus on in this book. Have you ever had a situation where it seemed like your name in the world, in people's mouths, in people's minds, your name had a a spirit of doubt
Ooh,
to it,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like something may have some situation in the past may have disrupted the value of your name.
Mhm.
It may have put a dark cloud over your name,
Mhm.
where maybe somebody told some lies on you, or maybe somebody misrepresented the truth, or maybe somebody blamed you for something that wasn't yours, and all of a sudden your name got stamped
Mhm.
with a dark cloud.
Okay.
Sometimes we need to learn to tend to those things because we know in our own minds that something is wrong. We know that people are not valuing us.
Right.
We know that people are thinking of us like we're cheaters or we're thieves or we didn't do something right or we always mess things up, right? And so we need to clear those things up in our own mind.
Technically, I did cheat. But keep on.
We need to clear some of those things up in our own mind
Right.
before they will be cleared up in reality in the world. So there's a chapter called Reputable Name.
Mm.
And if you've ever wanted to kind of fix your name, fix the spirit of your value in the world, fix how people think about you, this is a chapter that would address that. You ever had a situation where there was a constant delay after a delay after delay after delay? It was just a series of delays.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with delays? Right? Do you say, well, it's never going to happen? Well, I'm always behind. Do you say, I just don't have enough, or something's always against me? You've got to learn to work against those negative thoughts. And the way you do that is by standing up in your truth, that this delay shall be resolved easily and effortlessly. No matter what's unfolding, everything is happening in perfect timing. Do you hear how I just changed my own mind?
Okay.
Right? That when I speak over my life, I can remove delays because delays are oftentimes the manifestation of wrong thinking. Right? So sometimes we have more power than we think we have. Anybody ever told you that you can remove a mountain?
I mean, they said that. I find it hard, when I be looking at that mountain,
Right.
And you can move it. It don't look like it's supposed to be moved. It looked like it was really sat there to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I could walk, and it looked like it moved.
Yeah.
So
Exactly
I guess I faked
it. So
I moved it. I just walked away from it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Some way or somehow you got to talk yourself into facing it.
Ooh. Okay.
And the mountain is some of our problems that we have in our life. Sometimes many of us have been running from problems for 30 years. Some of those problems are on the inside and we don't want to face them, right? But whatever that mountain is, you've got to take ownership of it in your thoughts and in your words. And so you begin to speak the words that I will remove this mountain. The mountain shall become a plain, that I'm bigger than this mountain. I can overcome this problem. I can get an answer to this problem, that I don't know the answer to the problem, but God knows the answer to the problem.
Right.
It doesn't matter how you change your mind, but if you don't change your mind, the mountain shall be before you, and it's always going to be bigger than you are. But we have to become bigger than our mountains, first in our mind, and then we can start to see those changes in our reality. Right? This is nothing more than a faith-based conversation. Whatever problem you have, whatever situation you're dealing with, you must start the resolution in the mind. And that's what Activate Your Mind is all about. It's about how you can change your own mind in order to be able to start facing and changing your own reality. So I encourage you to get a copy of this book.
Yes,
it
yes,
is $17.99 on
They
Amazon.
can get it. Tell them where they can get it now.
Yeah, $17.99 on Amazon. You'll get it at Barnes and Nobles. Just about every bookstore online will have a copy of it. It's in several different languages if you happen to be out of the country or you speak another language. But I just think it's a good, wholesome tool to help you think more effectively and help get your mind right.
Yes.
If you get your mind right first, everything else should be a little bit easier.
All right.
So, with that, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves properly.
Yes.
This is Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes.
My name is Craftmatic, and this is my boy Smooth Jay. And this is my lady Ursula in the house. Miss Ursula Galley, big baller shot caller.
All day.
Right? And we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a healthy dialogue. Sometimes just talking about things can create healing. Sometimes just talking about things can create a situation for you to be open to new ideas, or a situation for you to shift and change gears.
Mhm.
But if you don't talk about it, you probably can't get below the surface. And so that's what we do. We stimulate a conversation so that we can get below the surface of what's really happening in your life, and hopefully try to add enough value that you'll have some real tangible ideas to walk away with by the time we end this show.
Right.
We are just simply just trying to be leaders here in our own community, and we are grateful that you're with us tonight. Tonight's topic
Mhm.
is level up.
Oh my goodness.
And that's a catchphrase, right? That's a term that's being used in the world now.
I use it
Level
quite
up.
often.
And so we want to not only talk about what level up really means, but how does it apply in our lives, and how potentially might it apply in your life? And of course, as you know, we always start every show off with prayer. And so why don't I open the prayer on this subject, and let's just hand it over to the Lord, shall we? Heavenly Father, we come to you right now, once again, with our heads bowed and our hearts humbled, just to thank you for being God. We thank you for you being a way maker. We thank you for the peace. We thank you for love. We thank you for every opportunity there is to live this life. And we thank you most of all, Lord, that you are our God. We give you all the praise. We give you all the grace. And we ask, Heavenly Father, that you would guide us tonight in this conversation on how to level up.
Mhm.
We're asking, Lord, for how do we go to the next level of our life? How do we be stronger, have more courage? How do we take more productive action steps? How do we remove fear from our life? How do we grow to be the person that you have designed us to be?
Yes.
We ask, Father, that you would nurture us with your wisdom, your guidance, and comfort us in this conversation. We ask all these blessings in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 There you go. I felt that. I always feel it when you be.
Amen. Man,
Pastor Craig.
you know, I always talk about climbing that ladder, man. Sometimes you just want to dig down, like, you know, just before I came out of the prayer, I thought to myself, okay, Lord, what do you need to take out of me?
Mm.
You know, what do you need to take out of me and and replace back in me?
Come
You
on.
know, or what is that I need to remove and maybe never replace? Right?
Mhm.
Where is the gap in my spirit? What's hindering me from going to the next level of my life? And you got to think about it this way: that anytime you're looking for something better,
Mhm.
you have to be willing to accept the reality of the now.
Mhm.
Right?
That's good.
Think about all the people who deal with real problems, right? People who, maybe you have a drinking problem. Okay, you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're an alcoholic, and you've been fighting that demon, so to speak, for many years, right? You got to face the reality before you get the healing,
Mhm.
and the reality is that, you know what, I'm blowing it here. I need to change. There's something I need to do, and to throw yourself at the mercy of the Lord, to throw yourself at the mercy of your issue and say, yeah, I take ownership of this. I caused this problem. I've been participating in this problem. You got to find a place in your spirit where you're ready for change. And believe it or not, most people don't seek the change until their back's against the wall.
I know about that too.
Right? And when we think about the medical industry, there are people who are overweight and they just will not. They've been told they need to lose weight for 20 years.
Right.
But all of a sudden, they got a hint of diabetes. They got a hint of heart disease. They got the ankle swelling up. Now, the pain is causing them to really address the issue and make the change. But you don't have to wait until pain comes.
Right.
You can move long before pain comes. You can start to build wealth long before you're broke.
Right.
Come on.
Right?
Preach it.
You can start to build health long before you're sick.
Yes.
Right? You know that those relationships are going south. You can step in and say, I'm going to say something different. I'm going to say something more loving. I'm going to do something a little bit more out of the box. Right? I'm going to have a little bit more patience. But if you don't take ownership, nothing can grow from that. Right? Nothing can grow from that. That's one of probably the biggest challenges in mankind, is that when you go to heal, you got to take ownership of what's wrong. Right? Whether you believe it or not, you got to say, in my divorce, I don't feel really like, when I look at it, I'm like, man, I was going 100,000 miles, 100,000 miles an hour
Right.
in.
Mhm.
I was going in 50 years. I was waiting on that 50-year anniversary. You know, we were gonna make it, right? And something happened.
Yeah, the great.
And 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years later, I'm still weeping. I'm still hurting. I'm still challenged in my spirit. And then one day the Lord did this right here. He said, son, you got to take ownership.
Mm-hmm.
All that pointing the finger and what they did and what they didn't do, he said, you got to own it.
Mm-hmm.
And at that moment, I said, you know what? I was the man of that house.
Mm-hmm.
I let the devil in my house.
Mm-hmm.
I was the one who tore that family down.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't tear it down, but it got torn down in my hands. You know what I'm saying? You know, the captain of the ship never leaves the sinking ship, right? Because he takes ownership no matter what happened.
Right.
The enemy could have shot it down. You know,
Right.
somebody could have made a mistake on one of his troops, but no matter who made the mistake, he's going down with the ship because he takes ownership. And that's where we have to initiate healing. We're having a conversation today about leveling up. And in my mind, it means, what does the next level look like? Before I go to the next level, I got to figure out what's been hindering me from that anyway. Right?
Yeah, we clap because you just closed the show. Man.
That's good.
We got to say. I mean, after that, I ain't coming behind that. How you got me messed up?
Listen, common sense would tell me that if there's something that I want,
Mhm.
and I just discovered today, something in my mind just says, wow, Stacey, you know, you really want this.
Mhm. I
I have to think to myself, well, what did I want yesterday? Did I not want it yesterday? Was I not after it yesterday?
Mhm.
Did I not have those thoughts? Or was I bullshitting around? Was I lollygagging yesterday? Yeah, I was lollygagging yesterday. I need to take ownership of that. There's no way I can go to the next level if I keep lollygagging. So the first thing I got to do is get rid of the lollygagging, and then the next thing you know, I might find an open space to to run the good race. You know, what would y'all have to say on the subject? How do we level up? What does level up mean to you?
It's gonna be hard to come behind that, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
That's just a setup, bro.
Wait, you set us up good.
Oh no, I got about 3 or 4 good nuggets.
All right, well, we gonna go in because I like how you brought it, for real. And it is hard to come behind that because you hit so many points that I was thinking of automatically, and accountability is the number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to leveling up, and you hit it. I've been divorced too, and one of the things about healing, I didn't want to be accountable. It was already hurt that it didn't work, so I already had my disappointment in front of me, and that led me down that dark path. Instead of looking at me being more healthier and trying to see what I did wrong to do better, I just blamed all the mistakes, and then I didn't look at mine. Right. It was easy just to blame blind. Well, part of the healing was realizing I had a lot of parts in that. And like you said, ownership is, you the man of that household. So your blaming, let's get back to you. And what you gonna do? That part is very conflicting because I can't lie on me.
Right.
I can tell you what she did,
Right.
but I know what I did.
Right.
I know what she knew and the things she didn't know. The dark secrets and all. Just like I said, you got the God in you. It's time for you to understand. And now get past what you want to tell the world and understand what he already knows. So now it's like my prayer is internal. Help me through what I put myself through.
Yeah.
How I didn't honor you. I didn't walk in your eye. I didn't even walk within your range.
Right.
I was selfish. And then that prayer alone is one of the heartfelt ones because you're owning your faults.
Mm-hmm.
And then with that, it's no longer just blame. It's about, okay, I'm ashamed of what I do. I shouldn't be doing it again.
Right.
You shouldn't have to lose somebody to realize the faults, but sometimes this is just the lessons and the blessings.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from these lessons that we keep making these mistakes and doing, and not keep repeating them. And now you're starting to understand more about how you need to be walking through life,
Right.
instead of continuously do stuff and just make excuses.
Right.
And I feel like that's why you're not leveling up, because you're not seeing it and you're not harvesting. It's like I'm planting bad seeds. I'm using bad fertilizer. I'm being cheap. But then your harvest is all messed up. Now you're disappointed because you ain't making the revenue you thought you was going to make.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you got to level up and realize I got to do things differently. I got to quit using the cheap stuff. That fertilizer that I bought over there, I might need to go over here. I have to be willing to make change, to see something different. And
Yes.
we don't always know it. So again, we can go back to activate your mind. You might have to read up on some things. You just got to realize you don't know it all, but are you willing to seek better knowledge?
Right.
And a lot of times we're not always equipped. You know, it's hard for a man to admit I don't know it all, or I have no idea how to do it, because it's kind of embarrassing. It's like, you know, I'm the man, I'm supposed to know it all.
Right.
But I already know I don't supposed to know it all, but I am supposed to be strong and willing to learn. And if I can't learn, I go to somebody with wisdom where I can better understand how to handle it. Now that's when I have to check myself, because I was hanging around a bunch of fools like me, acting like we knew it all, knowing we didn't. So now I have to change up who I go to, because they're not going to add a lot of value to what I need. And then I see where I'm not structured correctly. I'm having some people that are really just along for the fun. You know, it's a fun time. Well, all things ain't going to be a fun time. Some things has to be understand that some change has to happen. And that's when you start making level up decisions about friends. Like, hey, they ain't helping. They just taking, or they just agreeing. I don't want somebody always to agree with me.
Right.
The harvest went bad because I used this cheap stuff. Nah, man, just keep using that stuff. It just keep watering it. It'll come back around. They can give you bad advice, but then you gotta look who giving you the bad advice. He been making bad decisions since you know.
Right.
He ain't made no good decisions.
Right.
You ain't never seen him up on his
Right.
feet. Always borrowing money. But you know, he a good person to be around. He funny as a mug. You like it, but he ain't handling no business.
Watch this, Jay.
What's that, sir?
What you just said was profound, because sometimes we have, in order to level up, we have to see what's not working.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, sometimes we're putting ourselves against the current because it's not working, and we keep doing it the same way over and over and over and over again, right? So yeah, we're fighting ourselves, right? It's kind of a, you know, the water is flowing downhill, but you know, we keep fighting the water and it keeps slamming us into the rocks, right? I just saw an excellent video yesterday, and it talked about letting go of the fight in the river, because the river will take you down slowly. But if you fight the river, you're going to hit the walls, right? What's not working can help you level up.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like that little rap song, take you through there. I want to realize what you doing, man. Hey, we like to have jokes up here.
Yeah, what you got to say on this subject, Miss Ursula? What's up?
Just listening to you guys. Mine is just a tad bit different, but it has a lot to do with your environment. So mine is controlling and being okay with taking my time and walking through a process. So that would be my way of leveling up. Just being okay in the places and spaces that you're going to, and your nuance. It's a new environment and learning from it as you go, because in business sometimes you don't know everything, and you do need to kind of tap into other resources. And being okay if you're delayed, because a delay is not a denial. It's just a delay as you continue to progressively, as Kraft says, how bad do you want it? You know what I'm saying? Seek it and keep going after it. And if you really want it, it's going to present itself, but it may not immediately. But being okay with that and continually chipping away at what you're trying to achieve your goal. So I feel like leveling up is not always walking away. Everything that in life is not easy. And whatever you want to do, you'll work at it. You know what I'm saying? To achieve that goal, because it's not always just one way, one dimensional.
I like that, because that delay, you know, it's not quick. You know, because a lot of times we run in that wall and you feel like that's the end, and it's not.
I was telling my daughter that. I said, nobody remembers anybody that almost made it.
Ooh,
that's right.
Either you made it or you didn't, and you get a chance to tell your testimony. Hey, this is, because nothing is, you can't trust something you can't test.
Right.
You have to test it. And I feel like that's God's way of saying, well, how bad do you want it? And as you seek me, he's in those mountains, those valley lows. Nobody wants to be in a valley, you know, but we all got to go through it in order to tell the next generation, this is the path that you should take. Now, whether or not they take it is truly up to them. Nothing under the sun is done without God's knowing.
That's right.
But the young man is supposed to be led by the old man. So how can you lead somebody if you've never been led, or if you've never been taught? So getting into new spaces and being okay with not knowing everything and having to glean from others.
Mhm.
It's something that I'm learning. And have I been taken advantage of in some arenas? Yeah.
We can't tell.
That's
Well, yeah, that's the nature of business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
some,
You got anybody
some
that's
men
in
be acting like, oh, she's a female, and
You
being
rebounded
so
well.
right. But because I ask a lot of questions,
There you go.
I'm not just a pretty face. I'm actually educated, but I don't know everything. So that's why I ask a lot of questions. Now, you still can get tried in those areas and tested. So you have other resources that you can pull off, and talk to and try to get some more business owners and men in your environment or in your network group so that you can kind of bounce ideas off of them.
Right.
And then you'll be able to go back and intelligently speak to whatever, but you can't do it with attitude. And that was another thing that I had to level up. You can make me 38 hot real quick, right?
Right.
And it's one of those things that just because you're upset, it's not always okay to show that.
Right.
You never can get your point across.
Mhm.
Nobody still is anywhere further than that immediate argument or wherever you stopped, listening. So to me, owning, letting it go,
Mhm.
and not winning the conversation and just kind of listening to what
That's good.
somebody is saying and kind of taking it in
That's
and
good.
then coming back. You don't have to immediately have a resounding answer. You can just come back to it and say, well, let me think about that. Well, give me a second to process.
Yeah, and listen, folks, what she's saying, this is something for all of us, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes I need to check myself.
What?
And sometimes I need to check my own attitude,
Say it.
right? If you look around the world, you'll see how people get themselves into trouble
Mhm.
because they don't check themselves and they don't check their own attitude.
Reckless.
Right?
Reckless.
It's one of our flaws. Okay. Sometimes we need to step back and look at ourselves from third party and say, hey, is what I'm doing working? Because if it isn't, all I'm doing is pushing myself off the cliff. All I'm
Mhm.
doing is holding back my own self. So these words mean something different to every single one of you who are listening to this show, right? Whether it's in 2026 or 2056, when you listen to these words mean something powerfully to you. There is a situation that you are in right now, or that you've been in recently, or maybe that will come very shortly, where you need to check yourself and check your attitude. Be willing to do that. Because what we're telling you right now from our experience, this is how you level up. This is how you go to the next level. That I need to get, here's what we always said before I started writing this book. One of the things that Ernest Holmes used to say, he says, we have to learn to get our bloated nothingness out of the way so that our good can come forth. And what does bloated nothingness mean? Well, I need to get my own doubt out of the way. I need to stop talking too much. I need to stop trying to tell other people what to do. Whatever those things are, I need to get those things out of the way, because those are the things that are blocking my good. We know, people who talk too much, they always put their foot in their mouth.
Yes.
Right? And most of those people who talk too much, they're actually smart people. They know what they're talking about. They're willing to express themselves. And sometimes, other times they're kind of off the mark and kind of silly and nonsensical. But people who speak up a lot, they usually have a tendency to sway the environment, whether they're right or wrong. And if they're upsetting their own environment, they are killing their own opportunities. Right? They're a cancer and they don't even know it.
Yep.
However, what I have experienced in my studies, especially real life studies, is that people have been telling them that over and over and over and over for years, and they still haven't heard it.
Nope.
They have been told, you talk too much, you put your foot in your mouth, you're always popping off. And they've heard this for years and years and years and don't seem to get it, right? One of the ways to level up is that I need to just swallow the big pill and find a way to do it differently, right? And, maybe that's pray about it. Maybe that's go and study somewhere. Maybe that's go and ask a friend or a confidant. But if I know that I'm upsetting my own environment, then I got to figure out how not to do that. That's all we're talking about here.
Yes.
Changing one's self in order to make sure that you're not in the way of your own blessing.
Now, I would
Right,
say
that's good.
I was
Yes, that's
cocky,
good.
and
That's
I
good.
did not take this information in when I was a little younger. So
We
I've been in
all like
positions
that.
where somebody's up there talking, and I already know they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
I've been in this field for a long time, and right now you are sugarcoating some bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to go ahead and insert something because at this point you're losing me and anybody else in this room.
Right.
So now I learned that a lot of times I don't need to inject all the time.
Right.
I just need to take the information in.
Right.
I might have a sidebar if I care to like that person, but normally I already know how I'm going to judge that person, but it's off of what they say.
Right.
That's like some people come in the room and they want to judge you. Oh, she a female, she don't know what she doing. Or she might somebody's secretary. They don't understand it. They say they put it in their head, but it slips out their mouth.
Right.
And that's the biggest problem is we get too prejudgment. You judge before you even read the book or anything. You just automatically, just by looking how they dress. I went into a meeting one time. The vice president was dressed down all the way. Everybody else knew how he dressed all the way down. But he did it on purpose because a lot of people didn't know him. And he wanted to see who was all friendly toward him. Now, all the business, they knew who he was. So we can see how he interacted with certain people. So you knew he was somebody. But one of my managers was like, man, he's probably one of us. No, none of us up there.
Right.
You got to see how he moving.
Right.
It's like everybody know him. And know him by name. I was like, nah, he's somebody. I don't know who he really is, but I know he's somebody. So when he came over, we introduced ourselves, tried to tell him a little bit about our position and everything. And he was happy with us. We introduced, as in me and a couple other managers. My other partner, he's been quiet. And it's like, well, who are you? And he didn't want to say. He was like, well, I was just trying to interview everybody, see how everybody liked this little meeting.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, but who are you? He kept avoiding. But I was like, wait a minute. Bro, come on to the side. Because I don't want you to embarrass us. We went this way and you going a whole nother way. Man, that man got up there and started speaking and said who he was. He almost passed out. Because again, he prejudged. We do that a lot. And again, it could be behavior, it could be testosterone. I don't know what all it is.
Right.
But check it. Sometimes when you check it, the amazing thing, in the meeting, he came over and I knew all you guys before I met you. I read all your portfolio. You know, that's why y'all here. Because I want to see us engage more.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't say nothing about my other. I ain't even mention his name right now. I didn't even mention how he came rooted. He just wanted to know that he loved how we just open up and start speaking. He said, because that's the attitude we need.
Mm-hmm.
Engage your people, engage your folks. So, it gave me inspiration at a time that I wasn't looking to be inspired. But you amazingly learn differently when you live. Live, learn, understand mistakes, and quit making them.
There you go.
And
There
that
you go.
teaches a lot of things. That's leveling up to me. But I still say you stole it at the beginning. Just to let you know, we could have just walked on up out of here.
Right.
But for the sake of the show,
So-
me and my friend over here, we stayed.
So listen, at the end of this show, which is about another 10 minutes or so, 10 or 12 minutes, I'm going to do a quick review because we've listed probably about 15 to 20 items that you can literally take home. So I want you to get your pen and pad ready so that when I share these, you'll be able to take notes. But let's turn the conversation because most of what we have talked about is how we change ourselves to level up. But you and I all know, all of us are aware that in order to change our world, we got to get some stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
There are some tasks. There are some action steps. There are very specific activity that you need to do. 1, 2, 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've decided that you're going to go back to college.
Okay.
Right? There's somebody in the screen, and you can put any number of your goals and dreams or action steps or whatever it is. But going to the next level for you is going to be getting your education.
Okay.
You're never going to get accepted if you don't complete an application.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Right? And how many other things can that equate to?
A lot of things like
Everything.
employment.
Yeah.
You could never achieve getting to higher levels of employment if you don't start somewhere.
If you don't start applying,
Exactly.
right? Here's the point. Here's the point that I wanted to come out. I need you. We all need, okay? I'm included in this as well. We all need to decide what's next.
Okay.
Let's make a clear intention to say, here's exactly what the next level looks like for me,
Okay.
right? One of the things I constantly talk about in this book, that what you see in your mind's eye will appear. And oftentimes, well, here's the way life works for the average person. The average person is, they make a long-term decision every 18 months of their life. The average human, as you go through life, life is going to present things in a certain way. About every 18 months, you're going to make a new and bold decision for your life.
Okay.
I'm encouraging you to make it intentionally.
Correct.
Don't let life push you against the wall before you say, oh, instead of making $3,000 a month, I need to make $4,000. Don't let life put you into that position. Say to yourself, long before the pain arrives, as we started to show off, what is the next level for me? And once you decide what that next level is, then it's easy to start figuring out how to get it done.
Or be intentional about getting it done.
Or be intentional about getting it done.
Okay.
You know, I listened to an engineer. This was probably about a year ago, and he said one of the most profound things in the world. He said, we figure out exactly what we want. We take lots and lots and lots of time. And I think this was one of the gentlemen who created engines, like the Ford or one of those guys. He said, we figured out exactly what we wanted to create. And then we took the rest of our time to figure out how to get it done. So every day, once you figure out what you want and what you really are after, every day after that is just figuring out how to get this one thing done. But you can't have 100 things in the task list and then just be bouncing around, because you're not going to be moving forward. The way you move forward is to decide what you want, create 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 action steps along that line, and do every single one of those. And one of the challenges that you're going to face is, again, yourself, because the question becomes, are you keeping your own commitment? How many times have we committed to something and we just didn't follow through? We said, this is the next level, this is what I want. And then 3 or 4 days later, we forget about it. 3 or 4 days later, it gets hard, or some fear comes up, or someone asks us a hard question, and we just kind of give up on it, right? Part of the reason we can give up on it so easily is because we didn't write it down.
Yep. First thing come on my mind.
Writing down your goals, writing down your tasks, they have a magical power, right? And a quick story, and then I want to hear from my comrades here. A quick story, gentleman from Monster, who started Monster.com. Remember, it was a big job company. He said when he was in high school, his teacher made him write about his life. Tell me what the next 30, 40, 50 years of your life is going to look like. And he said he painstakingly wrote out all these things he was going to achieve. And it went in the yearbook, and it went somewhere, and 30 years later, he's in the attic. He found this sheet of paper inside of his yearbook. When he looked at it, he had accomplished 75, 80% of everything that was on that sheet. And he looked at the crowd and says, I wonder how that happens. And I was already aware of how consciousness works. When I wrote it in black and white on the paper, it becomes black and white in my life. Isn't that how the word of God comes to life?
Yes.
He wrote his word in black and white. It can never change. The word is always working, whether we're looking at it or not. So to write your goals is to imprint something, to stamp it in the scheme of life, so that it can never change, and it can be the factor that will promote that in your future. We don't know the mysticism of life and how things come to pass, but we know that everybody has been teaching us for years: goal setting, visioning boards, planning, thinking ahead. These are the things that produce fruit. We don't know how, but somehow or another, God just, these thoughts that we have, he will take these thoughts and he will make them your reality. But you've got to think of them long enough. You've got to find a way to hold on to the decisions that you make. So make the decision, write it down, and keep your own commitments. What would you guys say?
I like the fact that you thought it. The Bible says, whatever man thinketh, so is he. And then the Bible also speaks on writing a vision and making it plain for those that read can run with it.
Yes.
I also know that you are to speak those things that be not as though they were.
They were.
So when you actually put it down in writing, I've done that. And this was before I had wealth.
Yes.
I wrote down what I wanted. and it came to pass.
It always will come to
Again,
pass.
I
Yes.
put it to the side, and if you, my aunt used to always say affirmations.
Yes.
You know, you want to speak it because whatever you put out there, then that will return. Now, whether or not you want it, how bad do you want it? You have to take the good, bad, and indifferent that comes along with it. Because again, the devil don't love you enough to just let you freely get your goal.
Right.
But you have to trust in the Lord with all your heart
Right.
and lean not to your own understanding.
Right.
And the Bible also says, in all your ways, acknowledge him.
Yeah.
And he'll direct your path.
That's right. And listen, I don't mean to put no darkness on the back of that special word,
No.
but the key to this measure of leveling up is get your ass to work.
Woo-hoo.
It's time to get some things done. I don't care if you go down in your basement with your computer and you type out a 100-page word every night. I don't care if you read a book every other week. I don't care if you're calling 100 people on the phone every day. I don't care if you got to call 20 people and ask for help. I don't care if you got to do that program or that software or whatever, but you have to get to work.
Right.
Your dreams and your goals and leveling up is not going to come through osmosis. It's
Right.
going to come through a task set of activities.
Right.
It's something that you do today that plants a good seed, and tomorrow you will see it fruit.
Right.
Right? This book didn't come together through osmosis. Every day I was sitting, I got 103 topics, 103 different subjects I had to address and attack every single one of them.
Correct.
And let me tell you, the fourth quarter for me, this lady made all the world of difference. Because every day she was like, "Did you get it done? How you doing? Where you
Pushing
going?"
you.
I got somebody who coaching me. I got somebody who's coaching me from the sidelines saying, "Hey, I'm excited about your work, and I want to see your works come to life. Come on, go ahead, get it done, get it done. Let's see it. I ain't seen it. Let me hear it." And I would have an opportunity to read it to her and talk to her about it, and tell her my thought processes. But it was about making sure that every single day I put in some work. It's time to get to work. And let me tell you, hard work is something that humanity has done well.
Mhm.
Right? There's been no shortage of hard work in this earth.
Mhm.
So hard work is not the answer. But hard work produces favor.
Mhm. Say it. Okay.
Hard work opens doors.
Yes, it does.
Hard work reveals new ideas.
Yes, it is.
Hard work gives you a little luck in the equation. Hard work gives you confidence. Hard work gives you intelligence. Hard work will somehow cause you to meet the right people, right?
Well, it produce fruit, and it'll bring that type of environment to you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because if you put yourself in an environment where work is being done and achieved and
Right.
goals are being set, then you're around like-minded people. So
Absolutely.
coming together will allow someone else to water that, and then God will bring the increase.
Absolutely.
Now, see right there, y'all dynamic duels,
Would you?
which I
Yeah, we
really
might need to
like.
do our own podcast.
I see.
Yeah.
That was very nice. And one of the reasons why leveling up shows a little differently is when people don't.
Right.
When you're with the wrong person,
Right.
they don't see your vision.
Right.
They don't add anything to it, but they like to take you away from it.
That's good, Jay.
So from a negative aspect of looking at who you might be around,
Right.
because what y'all saying is what's needed
Right.
to be successful.
But Jay, you also got to think about sometimes that's God's way of teaching you how to show a person how to be present and show up for the tasks at hand.
And
Right.
I agree with you,
Right.
but you got to be strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
And understand what you're dealing with.
Right.
But
sometimes
God
I
ain't gonna
won't-
give you no more than you can bear.
That's true. But
Because
as
He's
it
asking
bears
you
it
to
on you.
be God, He just asking you to show your light
Right.
and show yourself approved. And whatever you will draw people to your light. People are drawn to activate your mind because of the light that it gives
Right.
and
Correct.
the assistance that it yields.
Right.
But those who get the same book, if you, as Kraft said, when he give it away, they see no value.
Yeah.
Because if you don't put nothing in something, you're not gonna get nothing out of it.
I've noticed that through things I did in the past.
Absolutely.
The more free stuff is not it. It's
Right.
not. Especially when you're trying to do it a right way. And it's not just for wealth. It's just about understanding. I already know if I give it away for free, it's not going to be really achieved. I gave away a lot of shirts. So I got people wearing something that they ain't believing in. I wish I would have held on to some of them.
Right.
Because it's a lot of other people that be wearing them because they believe in what we're
Right.
doing.
Right.
So again, I had to learn.
Right.
And that's what that leveling up is. I had to learn myself, as in things that I didn't do right, things that I didn't get wrong, but then the people I was around.
But look at the seed. It's all about the seed.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I'm
how you
saying?
plant it, who
And
you
then-
plant it with.
Right. And then sometimes you will think that they don't get it. They might not get it year 1, year 21. But a year is coming where they're going to grow. Because what did you say about the acorn, honey?
Yeah. Inside of the acorn is the oak tree.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And sometimes acorns try to be grass, try to be bushes,
The other things what they are.
right? But those acorns who know who they are, they will grow to be an oak tree.
Absolutely.
And they will strive to be an oak tree.
Mhm.
And they know to be an oak tree that I'm gonna have to leave a lot of these bushes and woods. All my friends, I'm gonna have to leave them behind.
Outgrow the grass.
Yes, I'm gonna outgrow them. And you know what? I'm gonna have to take more resources than they need.
Right.
So the grass might wither because I done took all the water.
Right.
It's gonna have to be okay with that,
Yeah,
Right.
right?
They wasn't meant to grow no more.
Right?
Sometimes they say so.
But your point, oak tree.
Yes. Yeah. The point I was trying to make was that regardless of whether or not it's going to do it in your time,
Right.
it's always God's time.
That's
You
right.
know, so you just want to sow the seed and let God see who He wants to water it. But He will definitely be the only one that can bring increase.
But listen, and he will bring the oak tree as long as you know that you are an oak tree.
That's right.
You got to know you are a superstar. You got to know you're the fastest runner. You got to know you're successful in business. You got to know that victory is ahead of you. You got to know that this thing is going to work out.
Say
You
it.
got to know it
Say
before
it.
you can experience it. There's hope, there's faith, and what we've come to nowadays is knowing. When my head and my heart are in alignment that this thing is going to work out. I'm just going to keep working on it just because I know that somewhere in this equation, my work is not going to be in vain. This thing is going to happen. I'm not even concerned. I'm having no doubts in my mind that this thing is going to become full fruition and it's going to be extremely successful. You have to have that in your mind. You have to have that in your heart.
Yes.
That could be a part of the issue with you leveling up.
It is. It is.
And so I'm encouraging you, you got to find,
Get out of your own way.
get out of your
Say
own
it.
way. This show, we want to talk about the tangible things, but everything comes back to your relationship to God.
That's right.
Everything comes back to, because you can't see on the other side of that mountain, but God can.
Absolutely.
And if you trust Him, He'll take you to the other side of the mountain.
Mhm.
But you're going to be looking at Him, while you're going to be holding His hand,
Yeah.
fighting these demons and fighting these hardships and these pulled muscles, and you can't see the next step and you can't see the next way, but you got to keep moving forward,
Say it.
right? You got to keep moving forward regardless of the appearance.
Correct. Can I also say
Please.
one thing? I think people think hardship is detrimental. Sometimes it's good for you to be afflicted. Ain't that in the Bible?
Yes.
He said it was good that I was afflicted.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. He said something to the tune that your thorns will create a situation where you are in league with the stones of the field. Right? Is that your hardships in life is going to create a spirit in you that I can guide you through the hard places and make sure that your foot doesn't dash against a stone. Right? Because sometimes we have a tendency to take something and just run with it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not, and Ms. Ursula was talking about that earlier, that I got to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
I need to think about this. I need an anointing from God. I need to hear from the Lord before I spend this money. I need to hear from the Lord before I start walking this direction. I need some God-filled experience before I just take off, right? And that means having a relationship with God. It is everything to my life. And let me tell you, I have had a fabulous life. My life has just been,
It has been rough.
Me too. But we're gonna let him talk for right now.
Yeah. And listen,
I'm next.
if I were to go back through what they experienced and how it created a stronghold in their life, it may not look as bad as it might sound
Right.
when they tell you the story, right? Because I probably have had some of those things too, but I don't call them that anymore, because every wall is nothing more than spiritual guidance. Right? God is not trying to take the journey away from you. He's not trying to say no. He's trying to slow you down and give you some wisdom. He's trying to slow you down and point you in a different direction, So sometimes that relationship with him is all the world of difference.
It is.
It is.
Let me just quickly, I'm just going to bullet point these things that we've said
Okay.
over the show. In order to level up, we need to take ownership of our faults.
Yes.
In order to level up, we need to be more accountable to the dream, to the
Yeah.
goal, to the task, to the people around us.
I agree.
Sometimes we need to take a look and see what's really wrong
Mhm.
so we can fix what's wrong. Because if you got a hole in your bag, if your bag's always empty
It's
because
right.
you got a hole in your bag,
Right.
right? And that could be, when maybe one employee, your employee is just taking money from you, but you don't count your own books, so now you're never gonna know.
Right.
Right? Figure out what's wrong. Learn from your lessons. Jay said that. Learn from your lessons. How powerful that is.
Mhm.
Don't walk in the past, in your past disappointments and past failures. You got to resurrect your mind
Mhm.
and decide what you are going to do. You decide what you want, right?
Mhm.
You have to be willing to make change. You have to seek knowledge. You have to operate in humility. You have to take time to walk through things, not rushing.
Mhm.
Being okay with lows and valleys and new spaces. You've got to ask more questions. And we just finally talked, sometimes we need to check ourselves and we need to check
Yes.
our own attitudes.
Yes.
But ultimately, we need to decide what we want. We need to write it down and we need to hold ourselves accountable to it
That's good
and
stuff.
keep our own commitments.
Yes.
That's good.
Listen,
That's it.
what all of that says to me is that we're not really facing a tangible world. We're facing the philosophy of a world. Because how can you drive forward with life always thinking about the past? That's a philosophy. Let go of the past and grind forward, right?
Yes.
How are you going to own something and not be accountable for it? Right? How are you going to be willing to change and you're not even taking ownership of your own issues,
Correct.
right? These are just philosophies of life. Would we come to the notion that people are not being successful and people are not leveling up because they're not willing to face themselves? They have a bad philosophy of life. They give up too easy.
Mm.
They're not willing to carry the heavy burdens, the heavy chains of success. Every person who's successful will tell you some really dark stories about when they were homeless and when they lost it all, when they were bankrupt. Every single one of them. There's not a single person on this globe who has experienced success. If you look at the guy who has full of muscles, I promise you there's been hundreds and hundreds of nights he's been in pain.
Exactly.
There's been hundreds and hundreds of nights he didn't want to spend the money on those supplements. There's been hundreds and hundreds of nights he didn't want to go work out. But those muscles are a result of his commitment to going to work out. And his just happened to be all over him. But ours can be in our back pocket. Ours can be in our state of health. Ours can be in our good relationships, right? But you gotta keep working out every single day. Any closing remarks on that?
I will say, man, y'all did a great job on this one. I mean, there's nothing really I can say, but I will tell you one of the times in some of the things I do when I do the show, I dress up, okay? Don't let the dress fool you. Yeah, I try my best. I promise you. Don't let the dress fool you. The pain of what I went through to put these clothes on.
Yeah.
What God put me through.
Yeah.
You know, he exposed me.
Yeah.
He took the clothes off and he put my soul in front of me.
Mhm.
And in
That's
order
good.
to keep walking, I had to endure. So now that I put these clothes on, you don't have to see what I went through, but you can hear through the people I choose to be with.
Yeah.
And that's how he works.
Yeah.
He will heal you from the things that you don't even know he can heal you from. You just gotta believe.
And then let me
Amen.
tell you, to level up, we need some healing.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Any comments, Ms. Ursula?
No, I think you guys did a fabulous job with just keeping the main thing. Our main focus is what are we doing to level up, and our measure and our goals need to be done in decent and in order. And
Absolutely.
you need to have an accountability. If you don't have one for yourself, get a partner, someone that can hold you accountable. It can be a pastor, it can be a good friend of yours, but let it be somebody who is going to tell you the truth.
Yes.
And because the truth will set you free.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, and I just want to end this with a little humor.
Okay.
It sounds like you said it could be your pimp.
Yo, I didn't say that. That look like that's something I was saying. I didn't say that. Okay, I want you to know when you gonna pray here. Jay didn't say that one this time.
A pimp will help you though. You will go, yeah.
With the 5 fingers straight to the face.
You will make you level up for real. Listen, this has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Kraft Madden. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Dude.
And we got Miss Ursula in the house. And we want to thank you for being with us tonight. We hope this has been as much of a blessing to you as it has to us. We are not scripted. We are coming off the dome with nothing but pure wisdom from our hearts, from our experience.
Yes.
And we just want to thank you for being here.
Okay.
We're here every Thursday from 7 to 8 Facebook Live. We have over 400 plus shows that you can go back and take a look at. It's always a great way to inspire a conversation with your friends and family. So go back and dive in the library and see if you can find something fun that fits you. Never, ever forget the reason that we do this is because we love you and we appreciate you. And with that,
We are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk